very good evening to everyone. This is Master Kevin Foong, right? So just drop me a message to say hi. Let me know where you guys are connecting from, okay? So hope you guys had a very good, today is I think Thursday night, yeah? Now it's been, every day it's been staying at home. I don't even realize what's the date now, right? Okay. So today's session is going to be quite fun because I intend to make this a little bit of studying as well as a little bit of some Q&A. So actually reserve the second part of Q&A where some of you can actually get on me live, on the live session. You can ask a question, right? And then from there, I'll be able to give you direction just based on a few things, right? We can use Bazi or Qi Men, right? So just saying hi to some of you, give you a few shout out. Hi, Yising, good to have you with me tonight. Hi, Mayati. Hi, CK. Hi, Molly. Hi, Miha. Right. Okay. Is that echo? Okay. So just let me see. Right. So just tries to get on to technically what am I talking about right now. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear my voice pretty nice? Okay. Is it good? Right. Just want to know that the voice is okay for most of you. Right. Are you hearing me clear enough? Because today's session is going to be two-part session. Right. So do you hear any echo? There shouldn't be any echo. Yeah. So I hope there's no echo right now. Okay. Any echo? Are you catching any echo? All right. So just give me some of the feedbacks. We're just trying a bit of a new software. I think my team has put out some software right now. So using the software to showcase more case studies. So the whole idea of this is actually to get you guys, understand using Bazi and Qi Men to get clarity. Now, how many of you is first time? That is the first time here tonight, right? This is, I think, our episode 12, right? If this is the first time here tonight, can you just type in me, right? So I know this is your first time. So I know how many is first time, so at least I can go a bit slow. But if most of you are advanced level, then I'll take this faster, okay? So just let me know how many is your first time here, right? If this is the first time, type me. And also let me know where you guys connecting from, all right? I'm actually in Singapore right now, okay? Used to be traveling for, usually every month I'll be traveling to different part of the world, non-stop, almost is non-stop. But right now, technically, I think because of the COVID-19, I think most of us, I think should be every one of us, right, is staying at home. So it doesn't mean that when you stay at home, there's really nothing for you to do, yeah? So I like to use this time where you're staying at home to give you clarity, right? So we have Anne is connecting from KL. Hi, Anne. Welcome to the show, all right? Okay, so let me know if the rest of you, where are you guys connecting from? So Tang, it's first time. So Lich Tan is first time, all right? Okay, so no echo, yeah? Okay, no echo. Thank you for your feedback, yeah? So this actually helps. Right, okay, so if this is your first time, technically what you guys need to be doing is this. Since we'll be discussing a lot of the Bazi itself, right? This is your first time, you have to get onto the URL, which is actually on my screen right now. That is MYBAZI.INFO. If this is your first time, all right? So what happens when you get onto the URL is technically you'll be able to generate your date of birth and time, okay? So if you don't know how to get about doing that, it's quite straightforward. Let me just put it out on my screen. So you'll come down to a screen like this, where you get to punch in your, technically your date of birth and time, okay? So of course, Mayeta, very warm welcome to you. So I think I haven't seen you guys for a while. These are all my Philippine students, right? So you'll be surprised. Some of you are saying that, hey, no, Bazi is all Chinese characters. You can't learn the subject. This is completely not true. In fact, one of the very early country I started teaching was actually the Philippines. So if you do realize, a lot of Filipinos there, they have quite good interest in the subject of Chinese metaphysics. But they don't understand Chinese, but that's fine because all of our courses is actually done in English. If you look at our apps and everything, there's all the English translation. So there's no need for you to memorize, yeah, using the Chinese character. Okay. So yeah, so thank you for having me. Yeah. Okay. So the rest of you, if this is your first time, what you will be okay, let me just take some question first. Okay, so this is from Arena Lu. Now, if my son is born in Australia, is it to key in Australia time or equivalent to actually no. So this is what you do. Now, if your son is born in Australia, and then of course the birth cert is stating the place of birth is Australia, maybe Sydney or Melbourne, you take the city local time. All right, so this is just what you do, yeah. So if your child is born in Sydney, maybe 7 p.m., you just take 7 p.m. You plot inside the chart. So when that happens, you'll be having the good picture of the full Bazi chart, because the place of birth is actually very important, right? It doesn't matter if the parents is from another country, but if you want to be looking at somebody's place of birth, that will already signify a certain energy of this person will begin with. So just very simply using that, we'll be able to track a lot of things, right? So if this is your very, very first time, what you'll be doing is just going to MYBAZI.INFO, right? So if you don't have it, it's on my screen right now. And can we all just start off with a community effort? Can you just help me to like, share, and set the post to public? Yeah. So why are we doing this is in every episodes we are giving out free training, right? So free training in terms of using Bazi, using Chinese metaphysics, using feng shui to give you directions, and of course using the art to ultimately transform your life. This is what we want to be doing here right now. So all of this time that I try to give back to the community, technically there is no charges for you to subscribe to my Bazi episodes. All it actually requires is maybe about half an hour to 1 hour of your time. So if this is the first time you actually missed out what I've discussed 11 episodes again, don't worry, because at the end of it, what will happen is I'll give you guys the link. You can access the 12 episodes including today, right? So every episode is sometimes about half an hour, sometimes it's about 1 hour. I think the longer is 1.5, right? So every episode I talk about different things. Example, from decoding your strength and weakness. This is something very important. In fact, the first few episodes, I keep mentioning that if you don't know what you're really good at with your destiny chart, right? Or a lot of us is trying to figure things out ourselves. So if you're trying to figure things out yourself, what happened is you end up wasting a lot of precious time. Now, to me, I always say this: money is something you can always earn back, but not time. So if you actually got into part of your work or business for 10 years or 20 years, and then realize this is not something that you really want to get done, or this path of career doesn't get you very far, so then it's up to somewhere you actually got stuck. You're at the crossroad, and then you need to decide which road to take again. And to me, that's really, really a lot of time wasted. So I thought that the fastest way, in fact, today's we are parents, even getting an assessment for their children before the child is born. They already have the Bazi chart. They know what this kid is supposed to do, what to send him, in future. Sometimes during my times, my parents always tends to, say that, being a doctor or lawyer is the best industry. Maybe that's true. If you look at technically maybe about 30 plus 40 years ago, that should be the era whereby everyone is looking at professional industry. But right now we are at 2020. So the same methodology that used to apply last time is not applicable now. In fact, you realize that after this COVID-19 episodes, a lot of jobs will become obsolete, right? So if you look at some of the jobs, it doesn't exist anymore. And some people is looking to reduce their office space because they think that, people is most of the time going to be working from home, right? I like to think that the future will not be 100% everyone working from home. So that's something I let you know in mind, right? So because technically, if you want to talk about the virus situation, I did give my feedback in last few episodes, right? So the feedback has always been that everything itself is a cycle, right? So if you talk about COVID-19, it is a cycle. If you talk about any pandemic in history, it usually lasts between 1 to 3 years. So you can just go and do your research, right? If you talk about the Spanish flu, it's about 1 to 3 years, right? So you talk about H1N5, a lot of these things, it's always a cycle of 1 to 3 years, right? So if you look at this, you can't, take it that, this will be the future. Every one of us will be stuck completely sitting at home, and then this is work for the next 20 years. I don't think that will be that for the future. But of course, as of now, in order to keep everyone safe, it is best to be staying at home because it actually cuts or flatten the curve of transmission, which I completely agree with what the government is doing right now. But of course, in the meantime, I thought it's good that, you want to spend some time to decode your chart, right? So while we're at this, please help me to like and share. And of course, you set the post to public. Now, when you do that, you actually obtain the status that's called a sharer. Now, if you don't know sharer or top fan, like example, Selena Tan, right? So Selena Tan had obtained the status of a top fan, right? So what happens is this: in the second half, I actually give you guys a link. if you want, you can get on a session with me live. That means to say is that you'll be having a chat with me one-to-one, right? So you ask a question and you give me just your year and a month, right, of birth. And then I try to give you advice based on 八字 or 奇门遁甲, right? So these are some of the strategies I'm trying to spend some time to help you guys. I know a lot of people wanting clarity right now. So to me, the best way of getting clarity is obviously from your date of birth and time. Like I always say, there's very two important day you should know. The first is, of course, knowing, the day that you're born, right? Technically, that's your birthday. So that's a very important day. The second day is that's the most important. It's the day whereby you know why you are born, right? So once you know these 2 days, why you are born, and then you get all the clarity from there, it's going to be much easier. You will start to understand, oh, okay, so if this is not the right time for me to be doing this thing right now, then when is the next right time, right? So I don't belong to the olden school, feng shui academy, whereby I say that, bad luck, you don't do anything at all. I completely, disagree from that. I think there's something we can still do, but maybe we take calculated risks, right? So you don't go into massive expansion, you don't spend crazily on investment or what's not. If the year is really, really against you, right? But you can still take some baby steps. Remember, 1 year is about 12 months. So given that the year is not in your favor, you will always at least you get 4 months. 4 months of the energy. These are very workable energy you can work with. And if you work with this 4 months, you'll be able to maximize and see the results. So you don't really need 1 year to be with you to get certain results, right? So example, if you do a successful launch, if you do a career change, if you did it at the right time, and that would be giving you a good head start. Now, so what actually happened is on the 26th, actually we launched our 八字 Mastery 10X with very, very good response. I think we had about 380 students got on board, which is not too bad, right? Comparing to, 八字 Jumpstart was a very beginner program. We had about 4,000 plus students, and of course, coming to the, I don't expect everyone would take, full action, but I know some of you will, right? So the world always belongs to the people that will take action. It's always like that, right? So technically, when you will be looking at your 八字 chart itself, this is where we start to do the decoding of the work itself. Now, the entire program is a 12 weeks program. It actually takes you from zero knowledge. At the end of 12 weeks, I'll expect you to at least be able to get full clarity from your career, right? You know what to do. From your strength, that means not just yourself. You were to pick up anybody, date of birth and time, right? Just a chart, right? So you'll be getting a chart like what I had on my screen. Just very simply, maybe looking at your 10 God structure. So if you look at the 10 God structure that's on the screen right now, technically, then you'll be able to read the person's strength and weakness very fast, right? And what this person is supposed to be doing. Should they be in sales? Should they be doing back end? All right, or what else they should be doing, right? So these are some of the key things that we want to be doing here. And of course, while you just came in, do me a favor, help me to like, right, share. And when you share, please set the post to public. When you do that, then you obtain the status sharer, right? So what happened is in the second half, I actually I tries to take maybe about 3 to 4 questions from 4 different people, 3 people or to 4 people, yeah, depending how much time you have. And everyone, maybe we can ask like one very important question. What is the one important question you want to get right now? It can be your career direction. It can be your relationship, right? It can be your next year forecast, what you want to do. We can get very good answers coming from 八字 or 奇门遁甲. I'll probably just show you some of the steps how you actually go about doing it, right? So now, of course, today I just want to make it a very easy, chill session. So there is no courses that you want to be signing up. I mean, some of you, if you still want to get onto the 10x Mastery, I know a lot of you, after the launch on 26, what happened on the 27, we get almost 50 over emails asking for the discounted price. That's the reason why we actually had a date for launch, right? So once the launch is over, it's over. But of course, I know for some of you who are my Facebook fans and supporter for a long time, so this is what we will do here. Later on, I will give only, let's say, 5 of you, right? So 5 of you, if you still want to be getting that, 50%, is a huge, massive discount. Later, I'll give you the instruction. But as of now, try to tune in to understand what we can be looking at in terms of your 八字 clarity, right? So, okay, feel free to get some of your questions coming. Yeah, so I don't mind to just pick up. Let's do this into a very simple Q&A session. All right, so get some of the questions coming. So in the second half, right, what will happen is I will put out the link. the link will allows you to get on live session with me. That means your face will be up live, right? So you need to show your camera and you can speak to the phone, right? And you can ask a question from there. So that will be in the second half. Of course, we will pick the pool of people that they are sharers, right? So if you can try to share the post, set to public, you obtain the status sharer. Later on, I give all the priorities to those people that tries to share the post, right? So this is a community effort. As every time I was talking about, sharing and what's not, right? It's because that every time that we are trying to do this is a community effort. I know that, after a launch of our Facebook Live session, what happened was each live, sometimes we get 10,000, 20,000. There was one video, it went out to 50,000 views. So imagine 50,000 people has watched. Some of them have received clarity, right? And so these are just community effort that all of us can be helping each other. So like I say, a lot of us, one of the key things is we want to be putting out is to get full clarity. That's the full thing we are looking at here, yeah? Okay, come, let's take some of the quick Q&A session. Okay, this is what I probably will try to do for you guys. Okay, let me just get a link up here, okay? So this is what you guys can do, all right? So if you look at this, all right, right. So let me just paste the link. Okay, there is actually a link right now. So what you can be doing is this, go to this link, all right? And then technically, once you get on the link, right, you probably need to put a earpiece so that there is no double feedback or echo, right? So put a earpiece, and then I can put you onto the live session, and then we can take this together and see, just from, so the rest of you, while you're seeing how we are doing this, right, try to use this opportunity to learn. How do we get the answers from Bazi chart, right? Or how do we get answers from QIMEN.LIVE chart? Because technically, now, what's the difference between the two? Let me just explain. Now, if you want to use Bazi, this is what we call the natal chart destiny. It is a blueprint of technically suggesting of where do you go on from here. The bigger picture is all looking at a Bazi chart, right? So if you look at the 10 years luck cycle, you look at current year luck cycle, this is telling you what is a big picture. What do you want to do about it, right? So imagine the big picture, it's a position that you can go into expansion. Then that will be the time I say, hey, no, this is the time you have to go aggressive, okay? But if technically some of you will be asking that, I want to ask very specific question. What do I do with that particular investment that I had 4 years ago, example? So these are very detailed questions. Then what you can be doing is for strategy, you can use QIMEN.LIVE. So what does a QIMEN.LIVE look like? It looks somewhat like this, okay? So this is a QIMEN.LIVE chart. So if you get onto a QIMEN.LIVE chart, technically what actually happens is you'll be able to see quite a few things, right? So just based on QIMEN.LIVE, we can see quite a fair deals of things, all right? So now while we are doing this again, okay, help me to get the word out, like and share. If you haven't obtained your sharer status, share and set the post to public. If you never share the post to public, you can't get the status, yeah? Okay, so we have, right, someone that just come aboard. Okay, so some of you already got a link, huh? So remember, you need to put your earpiece. I already got some of you that come on board, right? So remember, you can put your earpiece, okay? And while you are speaking to it, I can actually enable the sound, and the rest of you will be able to help to listen, and this is how we try to go about doing it. Okay, you need to get your face on the camera, yeah? Else the rest of people probably can't really get you. Okay, so let's just get, let's see. Okay, let me just look at some of the people that is asking some of the questions. Okay, I got about four or five of you that is on the line right now, okay? Okay, so I will try to go through. I will check whether you are sharer. So if you're not a sharer, please at least try to share right now. Okay, so once you obtain the status of a sharer, I will try to take some of your question. Yeah, so let me just go through the list. Right, I actually have my phone with me, so I can look at who are the one that is obtained the status. So Erin Lu actually is a sharer, but she hasn't got online. Yeah. Okay, so we have probably, let's see, right now we have Jane. Okay, let's just take a question from Jane. Yeah. Okay, let me see. I can put this up here. All right. So, okay, can you hear me from Jane? Right.
Yeah.
Jane, are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Everyone can hear Jane, huh? Okay, so Jane, what can I help you with a question of yours for today?
Oh, I'm jobless now, so would like to know
Okay.
whether it's better for me to go onto online business or look for a job.
Okay, whether to go on online business or look for a job, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, what would be your year of birth and your month?
1974,
1974.
16
Okay,
September.
16 September, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you see, right now your question is asking, should you be looking for a job or do something online? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, right. Do you have your time? Do you
Yeah.
have the time of work?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What time do you have?
1447.
14:47. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 1974, 16 September. What we can be doing right now is we can be, some of you, if you can't see what am I doing here, is let me just show on the chart. Okay. One sec. Yeah. Let me just share it on the chart right now. Yes. Okay. Okay, some of you look at my chart first. Later I put her back on. Okay, so that is actually, let's see. Okay, 1974, 16 September, right? Okay, 1974, and we have 16 September. Okay, I think the time is about 1400, right? Just double check. Yeah, 1447, so 16 September 1974. Okay, so this is the chart that is being plotted out, yeah? So some of you, if you have studied a bit of Bazi, right? So technically this is a Keng Day Master. So if you don't know how we are looking at it, right? So the Bazi chart itself actually says a few things. Let me just try to write on this, okay? So if you'll be looking at this, this is a Keng Day Masters, right? Okay, so all right, so this year itself, it is not exactly a very good year for you. I think partly also we look at the element of the stem here, right? There's a HO element in there. It also suggests that even before whatever you're doing right now, before you lost the job, there is going to be quite a bit of unhappiness with your job environment. So that is something technically what will happen, yeah? So that is, it will force you to technically, give up this job. That will be the first one, right? Okay, then other things is, you see, inside a Bazi chart, you always likes to study a luck cycle, yeah? So of course, if you look at certain luck cycle, these are the few luck cycle we are looking at. Currently, you are at this luck cycle right now, right? So what this also translate is, the way I'm looking at is countering all of your output element, which is not a very, very good sign right now, okay? So because you're going through, a lot of this resource element is countering up. Your ability to make money becomes affected, right? Okay, so Qi Men, we can make it a very quick one. So how do we actually do about it is this, right? So she is born in 1974, all right? So if you look at 1974, this is technically under these palaces right now, okay? It's under these palaces right now. Okay, all the signs, okay, if you look at career, right, it's saying that, technically quite a fair bit of things that is bothering you right now. Okay, now when you want to talk about online businesses, do you know what sort of online businesses you want to be doing? Do you already have something in mind when you want to talk about online businesses?
Yeah. Sell e-commerce.
E-commerce, right? So I
Yes.
guess things like drop shipping, selling things online, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so my take is, if you want to talk about online business right now, what I can be seeing from the chart is that's quite a lot of technically fear, right? So you're actually having a lot of fear right now whether you should do that, because I think in your inner mind you already tell yourself, is if I jump into this, most likely you will not be getting the outcome that you want. All right. And looking at the outcome of what I'm looking at right now is, I don't suggest you go on to e-commerce right now. Not that you can't go into e-commerce. There's a few respects to that, right? So first and foremost, if you want to get onto e-commerce, you need to understand right now e-commerce is very, very competitive. So if you really, really wants to be doing e-commerce business, you not only need to manage some inventory, so you probably get some products from Alibaba, China, this and that, right? You will also need to understand things like Facebook advertisement, how to go about doing it, because there's no point having a shop, because now getting a shop up, there's billion of shops online, right? So when you get a certain shop that is up, right, you need to know how to pull traffic. So you need to buy advertisement from Facebook to send visitors to your website, and ultimately that translate to a sale. So I think that life cycle right now is actually going to be, the way I look at it, 1, 2, 3, you will probably get some traction, right? The way I look at it is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fastest is going to take you from the current, is about 4 months, right? So that means to say that if you really want to go into e-commerce, you need to spend a good 4 months really going deep into the subject, right? So you need to figure out, is this something you want to be spending right now? Because when you go back to the question of 4 months, some people will say that, I may not have the luxury to go 4 months. Of course, I wouldn't know your financial status right now. I do hope that you're not
Not
in
very
such
good.
debt. Okay, yeah, so that's exactly one of the point I'm talking at. If you technically have you see, if you look at 4 months, right? So if you look at technically 4 months itself, it's going to be a long time, right? So that's one part of it. Second is if you are also not looking just at the process itself, you probably also wants to be looking at other options that can get you some income. Because if right now you are totally having zero income, then this is something that I probably don't want you to take these steps right now. Okay, of course you can dabble into e-commerce using it as a part-time. You can. Okay, so one of the key things right now I want you to be getting is you supposed to have at least your core income. You have to get some cash flow in first. Okay, I would say the fastest way to a paycheck is a job. Of course, we do understand it's COVID-19 right now. It may not be that easy to get a job, right? So this is what we can probably propose that you can be doing. It's technically, if you look at the chart right here, okay, let's look at certain timeline here. Now, right now, we are currently in, May. It's going to be in June pretty fast. Okay, May, if you look at May and April, your expenses is crazy. If you look at it, it's quite a fair bit of expenses going out, right? So it's all about, money heading out. I don't see a lot of strong sign of money coming in. But coming June to July, these are technically better months for you to leverage. So what you want to be doing is in just, I think about 5th June, right, onwards, starts to actively, send resume. It doesn't matter, you have to go for a Zoom meeting, interview, go and do it, right? My thing is get a job back first. E-commerce is something you can do sometime later, right? I hope that makes some sense to you. Yes? Okay, Jane?
Okay.
Yeah, right? So if you look at technically what we are discussing here is I'm just giving you your short-term plan and your long-term plan. So the long-term plan is you can dabble into e-commerce. I'm not stopping you, right? But short-term, not now, because I look at e-commerce, it's going to take you 4 months to master it before you even get any sales. Chances are, if you're going to go for somebody else's courses, you're going to spend some money, right? So if you're not going to go for courses, you may be able to learn from YouTube channel or whatsoever. That is some time. So 4 months to learn that skill set to eventually getting something can be a pretty high, downtime for you. So I just want to, give you the more practical advice right now. Of course, also based on your astrology chart. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Can
I hope you find this
start?
useful, Jane.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. So let's have the next one. Okay. So if you just join us tonight, do help us to like and share the post. Remember to set the post to public. So once you've done that, you obtain the status of a sharer, right? Okay, so this is what we want to be doing at. Okay, let me just bring out one more question. Okay, this is coming from Reen. Yes, hi. Okay, Reen, we can't hear you from the. Okay. Have you enabled your mic? Okay, try to enable your mic. Right? Can everyone hear Reen? If you can hear Rin, key yes, because I can't really pick out any voice. Anyone can hear Rin? Okay. Yeah, I think no voice. Yeah. So Rin, you need to try to enable the microphone. Okay. Tries to see if you can get a microphone. Okay. Right. Yes. No voice. Yeah. Okay. So Rin, you try to figure out the microphone part first. Let me just get another person on board first. Okay. Try to get your face enabled if you can. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. This is Ron. Is this Ron? Okay. Nothing, yeah? Okay. If there's nothing, then I will just get another one. Okay, this is from Mr. Su.
Yeah, Mr. Su.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, cool.
Can, huh? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So how can I help you, Mr. Su?
I want to ask a question. How
Sure.
will be my relationship for this period, for this relationship spouse?
Okay, you're going to ask about your relationship, is it?
Yes.
Relationship with your spouse, employer?
Spouse.
Relationship with your spouse, huh? Okay. Can I get your year of birth and time?
Yes.
Yeah. What will be your year of birth and time?
21st August.
Okay, 21st August, huh? So that's
21st August 1957.
1957. Okay. And your time?
6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m., right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 21st August 1957, yeah? Okay. So you just want to ask about spouse relationship, right? That's
Yes.
all.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Okay, this is what you can be looking at, and we are looking at these palaces, all right? So technically, if some of you don't know why are we looking at Qi Men certain palaces, is he's born in 1957, right? So we can also use the heavily stems, right, to give a divination of the asker, right? That is technically how we are doing this. Okay, let me just get this up, right? One sec. Okay, let me just put this out on the screen first, yeah, so everyone can see it right on the screen. Okay, 21 August 1957, 6:30. Okay, so this is what we'll be looking at. Now, of course, he is asking about technically his spouse relationship, right? So for a spouse relationship, just by this palaces, I'll be looking at this palaces right now, right? So right now, it does seems like his current condition that is, I think what happened right now is it seems like communication has kind of stopped. Okay, a lesson of communication, because if you look at this palace, this is your current situation right now, Mr. Su. Okay, so it comes down to a lot of things. If we were talking about communication, right now it doesn't seem to be reaching the other end. Okay, so that is the first part that we are looking at. Now, but of course, if I want to look at what is your wife really is thinking right now, I think deep down your wife, okay, this is your wife palaces, the way I'm looking at right now. She is still fine, right? So what I actually recommend is this. If you're looking from maintaining communication, first and foremost, we need to sit down and talk, right? Because right now, as what I can see is the talking seems to be stopped, or whatever you are saying can't seem to reach the other party. Now, if you observe this, if party A talks to party B and then this person don't want to reply or get into a cold war or do any of this, obviously at some point what will happen is the relationship starts to get from bad to worse, right? Then you will get things like I want to shift out of the house. All these things will start to happen. So first and foremost is I always like to address this. You can use in the form of first and foremost you need to put out your ego first. So understand that what do you want to get? What is the outcome? The outcome is you want to have a good relationship with your wife. That's the outcome you want. All right. So we know that this is your outcome. This is your intention. All right. You have to do whatever is in between to get the outcome. So you have to put down your ego first. Get ready to sit down for a session with her to understand what's not working from her perspective. She may have something in mind that she thinks that, these are things that is giving a lot of hindrances right now. These are things that is giving us or giving her not the ability to see the future of you guys being together. That is what she could be seeing right now. But the good news is, as of what I read from your wife palaces, okay, although there are some conflicts and this and that, but she's not totally given up totally on you. So don't worry to the point, my wife is going to give me out and everything is going to go for whatever. No. Right? So I know deep down, because there's a few signs where we are looking at. Although there's some countering that we are looking at here, it represents her own mind is in conflict right now. So first and foremost, with all relationship, everyone must be ready to sit down Now, if you think that you really cherish her, it doesn't matter who is going to talk to who first, right? We are not at the age whereby I don't talk to you, you don't talk to me. I talk to you means I lose. Okay, so we have to drop that kind of thinking first. So you have to drop that kind of thinking, and then technically what happened is once you do that, right, let her understand why are we sitting down to have this conversation. The idea of that is you have to let her know that because, right, she means a lot to you, right? You have to be frank with the words. That is, I know men's usually, have certain problem with expressing themselves, like all men do. Okay, I do get that, but like I say that you do understand that women are more of an emotional human being, right? They are more on the emotional part, so you need to know how to reach out to the emotional part. So the keyword is get off with the ego, focus on getting the relationship back first, right? And agree to sit down to look at things that she brought up. And she may say, these are the things I may need you to improve on. These are the things that technically, I don't think this part is working out. So can we work out something together on an agreeable decision? So I think that part, once you are willing to give some effort to it, it will start to, give you the good feedback that you want, right? And eventually you can start to be on talking terms again, and everything will start to get back. Okay, this is one quick advice I can probably give it to you. In the west part of your house right now, okay, in the west part of your house, in somewhat a bright area, right? So there is lighting in the west part of your house. I need you to go and after this session, I need you to go and remove something that is somewhat of a plant in nature. So it could be a pot of plant, it could be something that look like bamboo shoot, right? It's so it's a plant in nature. So you have to go and search for this item in the west part of the house. Tomorrow, I need you to remove it sometime about make it about 5:30 in the afternoon. Okay, so I hope that this give you some of the insights. So I need you to remove this, right, and get it up tomorrow about 5:30 in the afternoon. Go look at the west part of the house. Okay, so if you found it, please help to send a screenshot or take a photo to our team to say, we found something like this, right? Is it the element to remove? Okay, so what are we doing here right now is we are giving you some Qi Men feng shui direction to remove something that is from your home that can also be causing the current situation. So when the certain item is being removed, the current problem will start to change. Okay, so it may not become a problem anymore. So that's what we're looking at. Right. So I hope, Mr. Su, you are able to get clarity on this. Yes.
Okay. But
Okay.
There's a bit of echo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So go and look at your west part of the house and remove the item tomorrow. Right. So this one, try to get it done tomorrow if possible, about 5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m.
Okay. 5:30 p.m. Look for a plant-like item. Right. The place in the west part of the house should be that there should be light. Quite lighted place.
Remove the thing, is it?
Remove the thing, yes. Remove the thing that look like a plant. So you have to check in the west sector of the house. This is what is showing out in the Qi Men chart right now. Okay, all good?
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you.
The thing could be anything,
No, a plant. It looks somewhat like a plant-like material, not anything. Okay, you go and take a compass to the west part of the house. It could be a pot of plant, or it could be something that look like a plant. Okay, it could be something that look like a bamboo shoot. These are the image that we are seeing. All right, Qi Men focus a lot on phenomenon. Okay, so you go and find a compass, which is the west sector of the house. When you get that, remove it tomorrow, 5:30 in the afternoon.
Get it and then remove it, is it? Remove it.
Yes. Once you find it, please take a photo and send my team if you found the
remove
item.
It to put it to where?
Put it in other sector. Put it in other place. Just remove it from the west side of the house.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Can, Easy.
I'll try.
Okay, cool. Right.
Okay.
So right. So let's see. Now we have, let me just take out some more question. Now, is all you able to understand, how we are doing this? You enjoy this process? We are trying a little bit of different style, yeah, because this is more of like taking live questions online and showing you some of the concepts, how we actually get this part of the house, this part of the solutions fixed up, yeah. Okay, of course, if this is your first time right now, please help me to like and share the post. Set the post to public. When you set the post to public, you become a sharer. We try to pick out some questions from people that actually are sharer. Yeah. So I hope that this actually helps. Okay. So you see, just now we have Jane was saying that she has lost a job and then she wanted to do something that got to do with probably e-commerce, whether she should get e-commerce or go and look for a job again. Now, my advice to her is go and look for the job first. E-commerce can come later, because I look at the Qi Men chart, it's going to take a huge amount of time for her to to understand the e-commerce structure, and for her to be able to earn some income, it's probably going to take her about 4 months. And 4 months having no income, I don't think this is what we want her to be going through right now. So, and what happened, you see, when I say this is a community effort, right? So you see what happened is, you see Rika Chan has already commented, this is Rika, she can help Jane to get a job. So Rika, if you can help, thank you, right? So let's help each other right now in this current community. Whoever we can help tries to help. Yeah. So you see, this is exactly why the key thing is we are doing this as a community effort. So please help us to like and share, right? So you don't know when this video is going to need go to someone who really need it. Like I say, that not everyone can afford professional advice right now. Some of them can be taking through a lot of damage, but some of them could be at their last dollar. So technically, all your effort to help is going to be very helpful. Yeah. So keep your comments all coming, right? So I'm probably going to take about 2 more questions. I think we got enough time for about 2 more questions, right? So okay, so let me just take some questions right now. Okay, this is coming from Jay. Jay Shinani, right? So Shinani. So what if Northeast is a missing sector in the house? How do we rectify this? I have a younger son. Okay. Technically, this is a feng shui question, but never mind. Nonetheless, we can also, try to learn whatever we can. Now, a lot of people is concerned about missing sector. Now, although it's true that if you study flying star, the Shen Kong flying star system, a missing sector will suggest that something that can be harmful for both the wealth, okay, depending on which person is staying in which part of the house. Of course, then you also can be talking about the health and the wealth sector. So technically, when a sector is missing, you can't really solve a missing sector completely by just although there's some saying that you can build a mirror to reflect your house sector back, yeah, but it don't really work like that. One of the thing I can probably help you on is this, Jay. What you can be doing is in the northeast sector of your house, those part where you have a lot of walls, right? You can be putting, cupboards, tall cupboards in those part of the wall to try to make sure that most of them is covered up if possible. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is somewhat like a feng shui divination method, is to like create a mountain, features to support a missing sector. This is actually one of the method that is being used in Shen Kong Flying Star. So if you study Flying Star system before, you understand this. For those of you just got started, it's okay. That's the reason you need to come out to our Facebook Live every other time. Okay. So in fact, anyone is looking for a job, I think Rika is offering help. Yeah. So you can just go and approach Rika if you suddenly got out of job. Okay. So, okay, let me, in case some of you wants to get online to be taking on, giving me questions, all right? You can ask anything about your life, your health, your relationship. So just now, the first part, we have someone asking about a career, okay? And what you can be doing here is, technically, you can click on this link that I actually had right here. When you click on it, right, then you'll be able to come on to the session live, all right? So, and then I hope that I'll be able to answer some of the questions. So we have, of course, when you come on live, we probably need to see your face, or else it's one black screen there. Probably the rest of the audience don't know who they're talking to. If possible, please just on your video, so everyone is looking at you, so we know that you're asking a proper question. So we have actually Erin Lu, right? So but there's actually no video right now. Yeah? So Erin, I try to put out Erin Lu, so if you can, maybe try to enable your video.
Sorry, the device doesn't have the video function.
Oh, no video function. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
what I can do is you can ask a question.
Yeah, so my question is actually, should I be, working hard, like probably in the investing in the SGX, or should I actually be working hard in my L&D role and work towards a management position? Because it's actually very stressful at work now.
Right. Okay. So, okay. Can I get your date of birth and time?
It's 2nd of October 1980. The time
2nd
is,
of October 1980. So born the year of monkey, yeah?
yeah,
Okay.
that's right. And then
Yeah.
the time is 2229.
2229. Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So what we can be doing is, let me just plot out the chart. Okay. 22nd. So 22nd October, yeah. Okay, I'll plot the chart first. Then let me just swap my screen, right? So some of you can see this. Okay. So since she has already asked the question, let me put it back to my screen. So 22nd of October.
2nd of October.
Oh, sorry, second, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's 1980. Okay.
Time is
2229.
2229.
Right.
Yeah. 2229, yeah.
Okay. We don't usually plot the minute so much. It's because
Okay.
it usually falls within that 2 hours, so it's fine. Yeah, unless you are in the very very early part of the hour, then we will do some adjustment. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Erin, let me just get your question again. So you're saying that you were working in currently SGS right now.
No, I'm working in an L&D job.
Again?
Learning and development. Learning and development job.
Learning and development. Sure.
Yeah. So, but then I want to move towards just full-time investment.
Okay. So to become a full-time trader,
Yes,
would that
that's
be a
right.
trader?
Not really trader lah. Just like spend more of my efforts investing rather
Investing.
than working hard towards a management role because it's very stressful.
Sure. Absolutely. I can understand that. Okay. Sure. Right. This is what we can be looking at here. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So if we be looking at your chart, okay. Now this is where you are at right now. Okay. So technically, if we look at a few things, this is your current feeling right now. You are probably already feeling very stagnated. So felt like things has been stagnant for a long time. So that's why you see a lot of things like death and what these are some of the feelings that's being represented right now. So it also means that you could already be reaching your final straw that you want to be looking at something new, right? Which
Yeah.
is now when you talk about being a full-time investor, have you been doing this all the while or you just got started?
No, so every time I invest, I will make losses.
Every time you invest, you make losses.
Yeah. Terrible,
Okay,
right?
but you still decided you want to be a full-time investor.
I mean, I like it lah because I want to follow my dad's footsteps, but I don't know how to go about it. And I don't know whether I have the kind of, innate kind of conditions in the birth calendar
Sure.
to actually do that.
Right. Okay. So Erin, this is what I will technically recommend. Now, technically, I don't doubt your ability to become a good investor because if you look at your Bazi chart itself, yeah, there's quite a fair bit of the matter element. Okay, let me just write it out on the screen so you probably know what we're looking. There's quite a fair bit of matter element in your chart here. Okay, so if you look at technically, this is why one of the key reason you felt that your bigger passion is all about investment, and possibly also like you mentioned that your dad, right? You mentioned something about your dad used to
Yep.
be doing investment as well. Yeah. Okay. That's also, we look at this palaces. It also says what is within your family background, right? Because this is something that we are born with. So naturally, having you to go towards that direction, I don't think it's a massive problem. Okay. So of course, the only thing right now is all right. So if I'll be looking at your luck cycle, okay, sure. Now, okay, current year does suggest that you can be moving on to this direction from this year and next year. So we are talking about the year 2020 and the year 2021. But of course, how long before you get some traction, right? It probably is the way I look at it. Right. Okay. For you to be able to get good traction, you need at least good full 3 months to spend all your time into the getting the investment knowledge up. So whether you're learning it, I don't know whether you're doing value investing or you're looking at options in the market, right? You need to be packing all your knowledge within that 3 months back to back. You must be willing to invest the time first, because if you're not willing to invest this time, then technically you may not get that kind of outcome. But of course, what I'm looking at is still suggests to me that this will be an eventual outcome that you will take. Okay, so
Oh, is it?
at least right now you know the big picture. This is something that you will definitely will do it eventually. But I'm talking about the outcome has to be a positive one. There's no point to become, I'm a full-time investors, but I lose money all the time, right?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense, right? Because you still need cash flow to survive, and there's a lot of liabilities and responsibility to carry on. Okay,
Yep.
so moving on is, let me give you the big picture, is you can move to that direction. But in the meantime, right, I probably don't want you to just quit the job immediately, although whatever is seeing right now, because what I'm seeing right now is still suggesting that the job is not completely all bad, but although there are some good factors within you are feeling there is no growth, and then it's stressful, it's pushing you to the limit, and probably breaking you in certain parts of it. And what the reasons for me to get you to do it is, I want you to at least have a substantial income before you move on to that full-time role doing investment. I hope that gives you a very
Yeah.
good
So actually,
outcome.
you mentioned the good full 3 months, right? Is there a period that I should be looking at that there's a lot more luck involved?
Okay, you
or-
can start in this year October.
October, I see.
This year
Okay.
October
Then
onwards.
is there possibility that be greedy, take both routes and be able to do well in both?
Take both route means that you are with your job right now, and then you do the investment. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Is there
In fact,
possibility of achieve?
I prefer that method if possible. But it just means you have to what I'm seeing here is you have to exert quite a fair bit of effort. You want to maintain well on both ends. That's for sure. Okay,
Exert
so
effort.
so if you want to be example, say, I want to do well in this investment, at the same time I've still got a job to support me, that's fine. But you can't complain, hey, I after I got up from the job at night, I still got to learn this is painful. So yeah, you may have to get out of the comfort zone in that part for a bit. So but once you are ready to get on with that, I felt that is the best way to go about, because currently right now is COVID-19. It certainly don't make sense for you to be dropping your job 100% unless you already have some traction with your investment results. Because to me, everything is about cost and your conversion. How much effort and ROI you're putting it to this thing, and eventually how much of it got you to the ROI that you want. Because if you quit your job right now and then this investment is not getting you anywhere, then suddenly you have to deal with a lot of massive expenses. Okay. So and next thing is, if I were to give you some more advice, is the next 2 years are actually pretty good year for you, right? In fact, a pretty good year for you to be getting things done. That means it's all about taking action. It's all about pursuing your passion. Okay, but of course, when I talk about passion, I don't mean passion that don't pays you. So you need to think about something along this line. Some people are like, I like playing mahjong, but unless you are like god of gambling, you're not able to get a full-time career on that. Yeah.
Okay, so that means if
Okay.
I want to set my heart into getting the management position, that's also possible, right?
Management position. Okay, sure. Let me just get this part. Okay. So if you're talking about management position right now, okay, what I see is there is some options for you on the table, but it comes with
A price.
let me just put it that the management position right now is pretty sick with a lot of politics and stuff. So it means to say the minute you get onto it, right, there are additional, some of this additional drama and stress you have to deal with it. So you must ask yourself, are you willing to go down that road first? But
I know
the
that.
option definitely is open out right now, what I can see from your Qi Men chart.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
can. Then I shall be a commoner.
Sure, why not?
Okay, thanks, Master Kevin.
Okay, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for your time.
cool, no problem. Right, so for the rest of you, if you just join me right now, what we actually be doing here is, of course, this is a community sharing effort. they're studying using 八字 and 风水, right, to get clarity. Of course, the idea of going into a 奇门遁甲 chart is to know what is some of the things we can do based on strategy. If you want to look at the bigger picture, what should I do for 5 years, 10 years? What am I good at? Right? Your 八字 covers everything from there. So you realize that these are very, very powerful tools. Huh? In fact, for the 300 plus of you that actually already got on board the 八字 Mastery 10X, I will tell you this, at the end of 12 weeks, you can look at what you have equipped yourself with. It's additional knowledge. You'll be able to get so much clarity in terms of whatever that you want to be getting. So you will read people like a book, you know them inside out, what this person is thinking. We even teach very advanced methodology. It's called event reading. So event reading will tells you, like example, in one given 12 months, which is a month you get expenses, which is a month you likely will have, a lot of, opportunities, right? So then once you know all of this bigger picture, you are able to then look down into the days, which day do I take action? Okay, so in feng shui and 八字, we always talk. You realize that in the olden days, the olden people always tell you, have you picked a good date, right? So from marriage, from everything, it's all date, and more date. So why is date so important? This is one of the core things that we are looking at. Now, if you study 八字, right, we are one of the 5 elements: matter, water, wood, fire, earth. Any one of these 5. Okay, so example, if I'm a fire person, right, fire day master. So the day itself is water day. Of course, it doesn't mean all water day is bad. But on a very general level, right? Say it's water day, water will definitely give you, some form of oppression. It gives you some form of obstacles. It counters you. So in such day, you will find that, it's going to be pretty much a lot of things is not heading your way. Where else to a wood person, right? Water that produce wood. I mean, he finds that day is a lot of people helping him. There's a lot of mentors coming into place and stuff like that. So if you really want to use technically the art of 八字, this is where you get full clarity. Now imagine you wake up to a day and you know exactly, this month, what you're going to be expecting, right? This day, what is your action is going to change in terms of outcome. Should you be getting the contract signed today? Should you be, getting your resume sent out today or any other days? Why some days you got no response and then suddenly these days all the response came in? It's all about the date, right? So the core application of 八字 is not only just to give you a good understanding of a blueprint of the entire journey in life, it also allows you to kind of nitpick, right? Pick out certain dates that is in your advantage. This is how we control the outcome. Okay, so just knowing time. So that's why they will tell you 得天时地利人和三合. That means to say if you obtain the 3 Trinity cosmic energy, you know when to execute. This is where you're the most successful time of your life, right? So I hope that give you some of the very, very good advice here that you know how to get about doing it. Yeah, so quite useful for some of you. If you enjoy this right now, please help me to punch in yes. Okay, so I know that, okay, these are some of the things that you guys enjoy, then I'll do more, right? If you like more of a tutorial session, I can be doing that as well. Just that sometimes when I do, some of the tutorials, some of you are very enthused about it. Maybe some of you just felt that, hey, tutorial may be taking a little bit more time. But what I want to do here is, I can do 1001 reading, no problem. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. But the keyword is, I rather pass down a skill sets of knowledge to you, because then you will know how to be doing this fishing yourself. You don't need to come to me every single time. Look at, what directions do I go from here, right? So looking at that, technically, this is one of the core strategies that we are doing here. So every other live session, we are using 八字 feng shui. Of course, today, I think we only talk a little bit about feng shui. I think probably about 2 weeks from now, we will start to go deeper into feng shui, right? So those of you are still thinking, should you come aboard a 10X Mastery? Later on, I will drop you guys a link, right? But I only allow 5 of you to get it at the super massive discount, only 5. All right. So later I'll give you instruction what to do. So once you've got the link, then please make sure you act immediately. So once you have the first 5, you got it in, and you're in, right? It's just somewhat like a little bit of lucky draw for you guys, but I hope it helps you guys in any way. Yeah. So you see, 八字 and 奇门遁甲 have the ability to give. 八字 is more of the overall of your life, whether you're talking about the past, your current, and the future. 奇门 is good in terms of strategy. So example, just now, I was able to use 奇门遁甲 to, kind of read one of the, the uncle, Mr. Su. He was asking about, his wife, that it shows like the sign is there's a lot of conflict within the inner world. But you see, just from 奇门遁甲, you can tell, hey, the wife has not completely given up on the husband. No, because I can see the most inner desire, it's still she wants to be with the husband. I mean, this is what I read from the chart itself, right? So this, when you know this, what will your reaction be? So then forget about the ego, forget about, who going to talk to who first. And at the end of the day, you must understand, you started off as a couple. If it is your decision that you want to live this world together as a couple, then this little fight are meaningless, right? You need to know what you want, right? So ultimately, when you know the outcome, all this ego, this who's right, who's wrong is not important. You need to talk, you need to realign, right? Realign your goals, your values together. And like I always say, communication is the only thing to open out a heart. If you don't know how to open out to somebody's heart, you need to talk. You don't have to be a very good speaker. You just have to be yourself, not in a very angry tone or be defensive. Just be yourself, be willing to share, right? Be willing to, share your deepest thought, be willing to communicate, be willing to work on certain things that, sometimes you're not able to see eye to eye on, you're not able to get alignment. Tries to meet at a, common meeting point. So this is where, you can benefits a long-term relationship. This is what, in fact, we are looking at right now. So if you just got into this right now, I just hope that you enjoy this part of the Bazi training. Let me see if I can still, if there's still anyone online. Okay, if you, okay, I think it's about 10. Okay, so this is what I'll be doing, right? So some of you, if you totally have not gotten the guides to whatever you're talking about, Bazi is your first time, Bazi or even Feng Shui, right? So, or Qi Men Jia. Now, Qi Men Jia, I will send the guides starting from next week. Our team is working on it. So next week, there is a proper guide coming out. It's able to get you guys started to learn something about Qi Men Jia. Because, in fact, I've been teaching this for a long time. And the Qi Men itself is one of the best way to be looking at how you can do your strategy from there. And when you utilize this, it's very weird, right? Just now, if you still remember what happened was the last episode. If you don't remember the last episode, go to episode 11. Someone was asking about his situation, and I did mention, right? Goes to his northeast sector of the house, look for something that is of earthy tone. So that means it looks something brown in color and is seated on the floor. That was my advice to him. And then I want him to find it and remove it from the house. So what happened is this, in fact, if you don't get this, you go to one of my posts. I think my team has updated. What he actually saw is he found an altar. The altar that you put your gods and your figurines, god figurines on it, right? So he actually found the altar is completely brown in color, seated right in that sector. So, and then, to him, it's like, why is this so accurate? And how do you know that my house has this thing? So actually, I don't know. What happened is I open out the Qi Men chart. It will tells me the phenomenon of the current mathematical calculation right now. If I want to look at someone's house, I can. I want to look at your house, I can. I want to look at current situation, you can. Because Qi Men Jia, we are talking about hourly chart. Hourly chart is all about current action you can take, right? There is, of course, yearly, monthly, and even daily chart. But usually right now, you want to do things the fastest, you look at hourly chart, okay? Some of you has probably heard me saying about that. So when he go and find, he actually saw there's this altar. So what happened was, of course, I'm not asking him to throw the altar away. The advice is this, because altar is a very religious thing. We are just human beings. We don't just anyhow advise the altar to be thrown away. So the key solution is that I told him that, okay, there is two things you can do to move forward. Why am I doing that is because based on the current time when I plot the Qi Men chart, I immediately told him that his current career is going through a stagnant phase, right? Because his question is, he asked about when is he going to get promoted, right? A lot of people ask this question, when you get promoted. I did not look at the promotion part. In fact, I look at the current career stage, there's total stagnation. When it's stagnant, what happened is, it means things is not even moving. When things is not moving, should you even be thinking about promotion? Because I know that the promotion is going to be light years away. So one of the key things is I want to eliminate his current situation instead, to get things moving first, to have his boss suddenly pay attention to his work value, right? The amount of work value he brought back to the company. Then things will start to move, right? There's no point talking about when I will be getting promoted by asking a general question. If your current situation right now, your boss is not even seeing any value in you, let's not talk about promotion. We don't even know that, is he putting you on the next retrenchment list? We don't want to be doing that, right? So when we get the altar that we saw in the northeast sector, So what happened is I told him that if you don't want to remove it, you can revamp it. All right. Remember, if you're going to have an altar at home, that means you worship whether it doesn't matter what religion you are. Okay, you can worship to Allah, you can worship to God, right? You can worship to Buddha. It's okay. What I'm trying to say here is you should always get your altar neat and clean. And if there is olden things, you should actually clear it away. That is one of the key ways. Imagine that this is a symbolic terms. Why is this important? Is because everything in life you need to understand is a reacher, right? And certain reacher will have certain phenomenon. So if your technically example, your bed, right? You get up in the morning, you don't make your bed, and the bed is all untidy, this and that. That is already a phenomenon. And I can already tell you at some point of the time, I can don't even need to open out a Qi Men chart. I can tell you your health is not doing too well. Because bed is an area that you rest. The phenomenon tells you that right now your bed is a total mess. Your resting place is in a total mess. Then how do you recuperate or recover? Right? So every of this is actually a reacher. Now in olden days, what actually happened is, we got out, we start to brush teeth, we got out, we change our clothes, we change new clothes. So why is all this essential? It is actually a part of reacher, right? So in fact, I actually also learn a lot of different things from different gurus. This is actually completely from Sadhguru. He's from India, right? Some of you, if you saw Sadhguru, you can try to learn a thing about too. That man has tons of knowledge, right? When he discussed that everything is a reacher, everything becomes very clear because everything in life is a pattern that you can see. So when you realize certain things not doing too well, guess what? Try to do a little changes to that sector, the things will start to move. The things will start to change. Okay, so if you understand that part well, what happens is if he does changes in the area that has the altar, that means his current area that is his current work environment that is stagnant will start to move. That's it, right? Of course, your question could be, did I change his house feng shui? No, I did not. Okay, because if I want to do changing his house feng shui, I need to go in and look at the energy mapping. I need to look at the external landform. I need to look at the Sun He, the seven-tooth dragon. I need to look at some of these things to align the energy. That's called changing feng shui. But technically, I'm just trying to get him to get a change in his current position right now by changing the phenomenon. So this is one of the powerful applications of Qi Men Dun Jia, right? So when everything is, we call it Gua Ying, you do get a lot of this things that you can control. So you see, ultimately, life is not 100% cast in stone. It doesn't mean that, this year you are bad luck, so you just sit down there. Then what? From January to December, it's all bad luck. Then there's really no point in living anymore, right? Because you're just waiting for things to happen, right? So you see, even bad luck or good luck is all about the actions that you can take. Because your course of action is going to translate to the final outcome. So if bad luck and then you did a $1-2 million investment, obviously then a lot of the risks will be you will be wasting a lot of that money. You can go to somebody else's pocket. So ultimately, what we want to be doing here is when you know your Bazi and then Qi Men is the tools, you use hand in hand, right? And then ultimately you start to shape the direction to success. See, even you say you want to change a job, the question is, when do you change it? Do you change it now, right? Or when do you change it? Or do you change it in a favorable period, right? So is there difference? Yes, there's going to be difference. Change it in a month, it's going to be completely against you. What happened is you got into a new complete environment and then everyone started attacking you and then you get a lot of unnecessary headache. So if you understand by how we use metaphysics is, we are not here to play God. We are not God. I'm not God, right? I'm just telling you that all these are system. It has been through thousands of years. China already have this sort of system. Last time, the advisors, they were looking at stars. Oh, the stars alignment like that, right? And then they look at Ziwei, right? So some of the purple star system, they look at how the alignment of certain stars. When it comes to this, certain phenomenon will happen. And if you heard me in the early part of this year, I started talking about things that got to do with the solar eclipse, right? If you have not gotten me, go back to my last few month posts. I talked about the solar eclipse. So why when we talk about solar eclipse, there is going to be major event? Because eclipse, when we talk about a major solar eclipse, it don't always happen. It happens like 100 years you get once. So obviously when this sort of signs came out, there are bound to be changes. And of course, like all things else, most people take changes as a very negative thing. If I need to change, it's negative. I see changes as a form of growth. I always say this: how does a lobster know it's time to shed its shell? right? When it's feeling very tight, when it's feeling very stressed inside, you know, this is the time I need to get rid of this shell, because this shell is forbidding you from growing any bigger. So of course, the part of you shedding that shell is going to be very uncomfortable, and we all knew that, right? But if you're willing to take it and then go for it, what happens? You become a stronger version of you. So this is exactly what we are doing here. So for some of you, I do get it that you know, your luck may not be doing best right now, that you may be going through really difficult times. Please held on to whatever you're holding on to, a belief that actually keeps you going. You must remember this, everything is a cycle. So your tough time will never be there forever. You need to understand that. Okay? So if you can understand this, then you know that at some point the cycle will start to change, right? Last year, November, I already started talking about when we enter the water phase year, people who tends to be doing well can suddenly see a huge shift. People who tends not to be doing well for the last few years, they'll start to see real opportunity happening. Okay, so this is, if you look at what COVID has done to all of us, it changed the entire strategy, it changed the entire market, right? Suddenly a big player can go bankrupt, right? So suddenly someone who monopolize the market can lose the whole monopoly. So why is that so? So this is what is happening right now. When you get a huge change of the energy phase, everyone gets an equal chance right now. So my thoughts to you is, you know, I always like to challenge people to, why I call this a Bazi Mastery 10x is, I always say that I like to challenge you to take your dream out further, because I don't think we are born to be on earth to be just, you know, getting some pay back home. You pay the bills, you raise your children, and after that a few years and then you pass away. I really don't think, you know, life should be just about that, right? So I think all of us in our deepest mindset, there is always a goal that we wanted to do. It doesn't matter what is your goal. It could be, you know, I wanted to start something like an aquarium fish business. Then my take is, you need to find out to get the resources to do it. I'll challenge you to do it. Why are you holding back? Is it because somebody tell you can't do it? But that somebody that tell you can't do it, have they done it? Right? So I always say that you need to be careful who you're taking your advice from. Because a lot of us, people in our life, will tend to give us advice, right? My parents will give me advice, you know, people around me will give me advice, right? Sometimes, all the time. But of course, in my role, I tend to be the one giving more advice to other people because we're in metaphysics, right? But I always say be careful who you take advice from. When someone wants to give you advice, it doesn't matter that their motive is to protect you. Sometimes it could be from a family member, but you need to be careful of the advice, because if they are not qualified to give you advice, right, then what happens? Okay, then you are actually taking their advice seriously, and that hinders you from taking action. And that to me is going to be the end of the dream, because all you did is you just believe someone who told you you can't do that, right? So I hope that you know, all this sharing, I'm able to give you a lot of specific insights to learn some, you know, knowledge along the way, metaphysics, which is good. You know, when we first started this 11 episodes ago, today is episode 12. We didn't really expect that the Bazi Jumpstart will be, you know, we get 4,000 plus students came on board. We really didn't expect that. I mean, although it's just like a $97 USD program, right, with a pre-launch phase. But it says what? People is willing to take action. And then subsequently with the Bazi 10x, Mastery 10x, which we launched on the 26th, we got 300 plus, 380 plus minus. So we don't get the thousands, but I mean, it's slightly higher ticket item, but still there are people taking action. So all I'm trying to say here is, while there are 80, the world works in the 80 and 20 rule. 80% of people will sit and hope somebody else do it, and then they will watch and hope that maybe at some point they will do it. My take is, why would you want to sit and wait? Why not that person can't be you? You be the one that can take action, right? So the key strategy is, of course, I hope that some of my, you know, thinking, my thought system that I'm sharing right now can give you some belief in whatever you want to carry out, that it still means to go about doing it. Of course, these days, everybody is talking about, you know, we should get online. I mean, everyone knows that, right? But you need to know which part of the online that you can do, right? If you say just get onto Facebook Live, I'm pretty sure everyone can do it, okay? Then what do you do with Facebook Live? Then there must be one skill set you can teach to somebody else, right? All of us have a certain skill sets, okay? So, but if say you want to go online by doing e-commerce, now I'm not saying e-commerce is all difficult. There are certain methodologies that you have to get it tested, right? Drop shipping it used to be easier in those days. These days it's going to be more competitive. If you've got some knowledge, good for you, but if you don't, then you need to figure out what are you lacking to get there. Okay, so I hope you really love some of this session that we'll be doing out here. Although it seems like, I hope this is not like rants to you. This is more like a sharing session that I can take some of your questions online. If you really like this, punch in yes. Come on, guys, punch in the like and the yes. So I know that this is technically something you guys is looking at. So we can be doing a lot more of this in future. I mean, this is ultimately what we're doing here. We are, we're engaging, right? So every of your likes, your comment, it matters a lot to us, right? So, the days that last time we used to do, when we started our Facebook page, that was many years ago, we only got 10 followers, okay? Of course, this day, you can be getting 1 million followers, but it doesn't mean anything because Facebook organic reach don't give you that kind of reach anymore. It's down to very little percentage, right? Unless you're willing to spend with Facebook ads. So, but I cherish every single one of you out here because I know that, you guys, technically, you guys are the best, right? So if you're not here, then me doing this live show is totally pointless, right? There is no show if there is no audience. So technically, when the first time I did a live session, I think many years ago, it was only 5 people came. Guess what? The 5 people stay on all the way to today. So you don't misunderstand that there's only 5 people supporting you, but at least you start with that 5. Okay, they are real human beings. You that give you their real attention, right? So don't look at people as a number. Oh, it's only 5. I need to get 500. I need to get 5,000, 5 million. If you, to us, is every single one of you come in, you enjoy the session, it's good. If you think that we offer some valuable course, you want to sign up, more than welcome, right? Thank you for supporting us as well. And of course, in the meantime, for us, is my take is very simple. Anyone who come onto our classes, we always say we have to find our ways to over value add. This is in fact what you guys should be doing also. Whenever let's say someone give you a job, you need to over value add. You need to over value add that if you're being paid 3K, you should do 6K worth of job. Not because I want you to overtime work OT 24/7. No, I don't believe in working OT, but I believe in over committing because this is it. You will realize this: nobody will give out someone that's valuable in their life. You can look around. If this person is so valuable to you, will you give them up? The first answer is you will not give them up, right? So regardless what situation is happening, you keep them because these are very valuable people. So all I'm trying to get you guys is to be that valuable person to the employer who's employing you, or to your staff who is helping you. Some of you, I know you're in businesses, right? Your staff is helping you be, really enjoy that these are the people that's helping you right now, and every bit of effort works. So when you have this sort of mentality that every one of those people matters to you in life, this is where you start to manifest into 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger. It's completely possible, right? So don't discount the fact that, if I'll be teaching this, it's only one person that will watch. If it's one person, then start with one. At least you got one person that give you full attention, right? So I'm glad for you guys that you have been very, very supportive. Okay, so this is what we will technically do here, right? So some of you wants to be getting, we get some private message. How do we get the super big discount code for the 10x mastery? This is what we can be doing right now, and I'll need you guys to. Okay, let me try this. Okay, I probably need to lower this down. Okay, let me put the screen off first. Okay, so you can comment or you can key in 10x. Just type 10x. What happened is, if this is the first time here, you get access to the guide. Again, the Qi Men guide we are preparing next week. All right, it'll be sent to you. So those that type 10x, once we got your email, the team will send it to you next week. That will be on Monday. Right, so please make sure you get the 10x. So this is, if you have not gotten the previous parts or Feng Shui guide, this one, it combines both of them together. Plus, it also gives you the special code to come on board the 10x mastery. But we can only give it to the first 5. I hope this is fair because quite a lot of people they missed the offer already. We want to be fair to everyone. So, but usually for Facebook, we open out a little bit more slots for some of the fan supporter. Some people came on board not through Facebook, they're through the website, they're through Facebook targeting and what's not, right? So please make sure you get 10x, right? So get 10x, get access to that. Once this is managed by a bot, I'm not the one replying. So the bot will be responsible to collect your email. Once you've done that, Monday, we will send out the guide, right? So once your email is into our system, the guide will be automatically sent on Monday. That guide, I talk more about 奇门遁甲. So you kind of find 奇门遁甲 is interesting, you want to use it to get insights, you can, right? So you probably want to stay tuned with me for the next live episode, because what I will be doing is this. Technically, at the end of next live episode, I will also be sharing how you can use Qi Men activation. If you still remember the last round, I give you guys a date and time. Actually, I gotten a lot of good feedbacks. I will show you some of the, in fact, if you can look at some of the posts, there are some people who comment that, they use the date and time to do the, alignment of the energy and setting of the intention. And then within that short period of time, they got what they want, right? So based on whatever intention that they set. But of course, the intention that you set must be something you can achieve. So you're not going to set an intention like, oh, I want 10 billion appear in front of me right now. That is not something you can achieve immediately, right? It's not, I don't mean that you can't achieve, but you can't achieve it immediately. So you must set something that's tangible, is achievable. That is something we can use using Qi Men. We call that Qi Men strategy. It allows you to, based on Qi Men, good day and time with a direction. A lot of them using that energy to do the alignment. So the next episode, what will happen is at the end of the Feng Shui, at the end of the Bazi and Qi Men Dunjia training, I will give you the date and time again to do activation. So some of you is to get yourself back on track, whether you can be your health, it can be your perspective, it can give you clarity. If you want to ask for clarity, please do, right? In fact, clarity is the first thing. I will always ask for wisdom. I don't ask for more money. You ask for more money, once you spend it, what happens? You're going to ask for more money again, right? So I always ask for wisdom, so that wisdom will allows you, if money is what you are going for, then the wisdom will get you the money, right? You will know how to do it again and again. So at the end of the day, that's why this is one of the key strategy why I always say that Bazi Qi Men metaphysics is the best knowledge that you can equip yourself with that helps you to ultimately, get there faster and you don't waste so much precious time. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, right? So remember to punch in the 10x, and technically I will see you on the next live. But before you technically get off, please do remember to click the live notification so the next time you actually got informed. Okay, so some of you're watching this from YouTube, right? What you can be doing is to activate the 10x comment. You need to go on to our Facebook page, click on the Facebook live video, then you type in the 10x there, right? Because the YouTube don't allow us to do this commenting stuff, right? So I know some of you is watching from YouTube, right? So I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Okay, so and I'll see you in my next live. Good night.